Tell me, do you remember the moment when you gave clear instructions in a meeting, but your team interpreted it as pressure, urgency, or micromanagement? Or when was the last time you walked away from a conversation thinking, why did that land completely differently than I had intended? I've worked with many leaders and I see this pattern over and over again. High-performing leaders feel misunderstood, misinterpreted, or second-guessed. Not because they lack skill, but because they're leading in a world where every generation hears things so differently. And I get it personally too. I've been there. There was a time in my own career where I thought, am I saying the right things? So why does it feel like everyone is receiving something else? Once I understood generational dynamics, everything changed. My communication softened and the team felt safer, if you like. The misunderstandings eased. And honestly, leading became lighter. And that's what I want to help you experience today and to talk to you about. Here's the truth that almost no one tells leaders. Your communication isn't the problem. The generational lens your team listens through is the problem. Every generation grew up with different expectations, norms, leadership experiences, definitions of respect, definitions of motivation, and definitions of safety. So the same sentence can land in completely different ways. Not because you said it wrong, but because it basically each generation hears it differently. I'll show you what I mean. Imagine you say, let's move quickly on this. To a baby boomer, that may mean, we trust you, let's deliver. To a Gen X, it might mean, just get it done. Millennials, why the urgency? Something must be wrong. And to Gen Z, do you want quality or speed? I actually need clarity here. Same words, different interpretations, different emotional responses, and it's not your fault. This is generational psychology at play. Remember the moment when someone reacted strongly and you thought, that's not what I meant at all? When was the last time you said something neutral and it landed as criticism? That's not miscommunication, that's generational misalignment. And once you understand the dynamics, everything gets so much easier. Here's a step that can help. We can call it the intent versus interpretation. This will reduce misunderstandings instantly for you. Before giving direction, ask yourself, what is my intent? Is it clarity, urgency, support, or efficiency? After delivering your message, ask, how might this be interpreted through a different generational lens? This one pause makes you clearer, warmer, safer, and more effective. It's simple, but it's powerful. Another step we can call the generational translation map. This will prevent misunderstandings. Leaders need to speak the language of each generation. Here's a simplified version. Baby boomers value responsibility, so speak in trust, ownership, legacy, impact. Gen X, they value independence. Speak in autonomy, efficiency, and direct expectations. Millennials, they value clarity and purpose, so speak in context, collaboration, and meaning. Gen Z value transparency and boundaries, so speak with psychological safety, structure, clear role definitions. You don't need to change your personality, just your translation. When was the last time you assumed someone should know what you meant? Do you remember a moment when a simple instruction spiraled into unnecessary friction? That's the gap the translation map will fill. Here are 3 clarifying questions which will prevent 80% of generational misunderstandings. Number 1, what does support look like for you on this? Remember, everyone defines support differently. Number 2, what does good look like from your perspective? This will reveal hidden expectations. And number 3, is there anything unclear before we move forward? This invites safety before misunderstandings happen. Most conflict isn't personal, it's just unclear. These questions will close that gap before confusion grows roots. Finally, when I finally understood this, things changed and I realised that my team wasn't challenging me, they were really just trying to translate me. Once I softened how I communicated, once I clarified, slowed down and gave more context, the tension then dissolved. My team opened up, trust grew, and the emotional load of leadership felt lighter. In fact, much lighter. And that's what's waiting for you on the other side of this awareness. Your team isn't misunderstanding you because you're a poor communicator. They're misunderstanding you because they're listening through their own lived experiences. When you learn to communicate across generations, you're not just avoiding conflict, you're building trust, safety and loyalty. Next time you speak with your team, don't ask, did I say that clearly? Instead ask, how might this land differently for each person in the room? That one shift can change the entire culture of your team.